Aphra Behn, who lived in the second half of the 17th century, was an English playwright, fiction writer, poet and translator. Often dubbed the first professional female writer, she penned at least 19 plays, numerous poems, and several short works of fiction during her 20-year career. Before becoming a writer, Behn was employed by Charles II as a spy. It was unexpected for women to work as spies. However, as they were traditionally excluded from political activities and often overlooked, they could be particularly effective at extracting and passing on information. Behn's short career as a spy was frustrating, dangerous, unprofitable, and unsuccessful. The National Archives hold 19 of her spying letters sent from Antwerp to her employers in England.
Agent, Mistress Aphra Behn. Codename, Estrella. Target, Master William Scott. Codename, Celadon. Mission, to know whether Mr. Scott has any resolution to become a convert and to serve his king and country. To use all secrecy imaginable.
In the summer of 1666, Behn is recruited by the King's spy masters. She is to convince her rumoured former lover, William Scott, to become an informant for the English. Scott is living abroad and treasonously working for the Dutch. Behn's task is to turn him double agent. She travels to Antwerp in the Low Countries, a territory she had never been to where they speak languages she does not know well. Antwerp at this time is a place of danger, mystery and intrigue. The English are at war with the Dutch Republic, and Antwerp is a centre for covert activity. Behn arranges a meeting with Scott, and the stakes are high. Scott is already under observation by his suspicious Dutch employers. Evidence of treasonous activities could lead to his imprisonment and execution.
I was forced to get a coach and go a day's journey with him, to have an opportunity to speak with him. After I'd used all arguments to him that were fit for me, he became so extremely willing to undertake your service.
Behn believes he trusts her. He agrees to spy for Charles II as long as he is paid and receives a pardon for his previous crimes.
I really believe his intent is very real and will be very diligent in the way of doing you all the service in the world for the future.
Scott sends her information, which she dutifully passes on to London. But now her spy masters go cold. Behn needs money, a pardon, and instruction to continue to secure Scott's trust.
I have sent several times to Mr. Halsall, but I can get no word of an answer. I have, by this post, sent him things from Celadon, who is the readiest man alive to serve His Majesty, without any encouragement than barely my word.
Behn's frustration at her situation is palpable. Despite her best efforts, she is now weary, broke and desperate.
I confess, I carried no more but £50. And I've not only spent all that upon mere eating and drinking, but in borrowing of money to accomplish my desires of seeing and speaking with the man. I am as much more in debt, having pawned my very rings.
Weeks go by and still Behn has no word from London. The Great Fire, which started on the 2nd of September, was ravaging the city. Behn would have heard the news in Antwerp and may even have seen images in newspapers of the city razed to the ground. She becomes increasingly paranoid about her role as agent. She clashes with another spy in Antwerp who tries to undermine her, and she fears she has lost the king's support. She starts to panic. It is 3 months since she has heard from London. Desperate, she writes a bold letter to Lord Arlington, the Secretary of State and Overseer of Domestic and Foreign Security. She has failed her mission and lost the trust of Scott. She now needs money to pay her debts and return safely home.
Therefore, my humble petition to your lordship is that I may have a final answer of what I am to do, and not let me be disgraced and ruined in a strange place where I have none to pity or help me.
At last, Behn's pleas are heard, and she is sent enough money to pay her debts in Antwerp and return home. But even then, her ordeal continues. She still owes money, and Ben is again forced to beg her former employers for financial aid. They again go silent. With nowhere else to turn, Ben sends a petition to the king to beg for her debts to be paid. Her petition to the king appears to have worked, as her presence in the records disappears. Her spying mission may have been a failure, but her resilience, strength of will, and ambition are evident.
Ben the Spy is a remarkable footnote in the history of 1660s England. One of many women who, for reasons of pride, financial gain, ambition, and even love, undertook roles as secret agents for their king and country, at great risk and cost to themselves. What makes Ben's story more fascinating is that she left behind her espionage career to become a successful playwright and author of fiction and poetry, treading a path to a professional life that few women had previously walked. Renowned during her lifetime and in the centuries since, she's buried in Westminster Abbey. Her works speak of women's rights, of colonial oppression and slavery, and chime with many of society's concerns today. Ben made her own way in the world and continues to be an inspiration. Just think, what do you want to do? How can you reshape what's possible?